Hello, I'm Bobby Ballard, and I'm from Joplin, Missouri, and I had a heart attack when I was 51 years old. It was a warm um, spring day. It was in April, and I was out with my running class, and we had just completed a 3 mile run, and I went back to my car to get a bottle of water, and I came back and sat down, and that's actually the last thing I remember for 8 days. I had had a massive heart attack after the run, and I happened to have a Mercy nurse with me that gave me CPR until the ambulance got there. And she said, when I had my bottle of water, I'd kind of fallen over, and they thought I was being silly, making a snoring sound. Well, she recognized right away that I was, gasping for air, so she rolled me over. The EMT guys told me afterwards that they had shocked me 7 times on the way to the hospital. The doctor had got a hold of my wife, who was not there at the time, and told her, well, we're going to try and keep him alive, myself, until I could get my family there, because they said the chances of me surviving through the night were not real good. So that's how massive this heart attack was. And they'd actually, my cardiologist who came in kind of had different thoughts, and he said, I'm going to do put a stent in, and it's right next to the heart, so it's very risky, but they didn't figure I had too much to lose anyway. So, well, they put the stent in, and he came back out and talked to my wife, and was just ecstatic because the blood was flowing again, and they felt really good about it. A couple of 3 days went by, and of course I was in this drug-induced coma, but they brought me out for just a brief time to see if I could wiggle my fingers, my toes. They asked me who the president was. I think I said Jimmy Carter, but they said that's close enough as long as he, was in this decade or century. And they performed triple bypass on me, and finally, after 8 days, I woke up, and not knowing what happened, because I was one of the heart attack people that had no warning sign. I had no numbness, I had no cold sweats, nothing. We started walking, and a couple of days later, I was actually going up and down the hall. And of course, by then I was bored being in the hospital, so I asked the, the doctor and the nurse techs, what's it going to take to get me out of here? And there was a flight of stairs. They said, you can go down those stairs and come back up by yourself, you can go home. The next day, I got down the stairs, got back up. After 11 days in the hospital, I got to go home. When I started, I had just turned 50 before this, and I weighed over 300 pounds. And I had decided that it was time to get in shape and do something, because I wasn't going to be around very long. I didn't know it was going to turn out the way it did, but that's when I started going to the mall to walk. And my first time out there, I probably couldn't walk 100 feet without having to sit down and take a break. So, well, that kept going, and I got to where I could do a mile, and then 3, and then finally got to where I could do about 6 miles, which is one lap around our mall, and if you're going in and out of all the cubby holes, is about a mile. So that's when I decided to take the Anyone Can Run class at the Y and start running. So. Well, of course, I had to start all over again. I was not able to run, of course, after that, but started walking again, and did the same thing. When I first started this adventure, I would go to the mall and walk, and I got to where I could walk about 3 or 4 miles, and then I told my cardiologist, I said, well, I'm going to walk in this race that I was training for. He says, as long as you don't run, you can. So 5 weeks after my triple bypass surgery, I walked in my first 5K. And this was in a Anyone Can Run class from the Y. And all my people that I was in the class with came out. And of course, they ran the race. Well, then they came back on the course and walked in with me. Had a shirt made up that said Running for Bobby. So, I still have it to this day, even though it's been 8 or 9 years ago. I still have my same cardiologist from that day and most wonderful guy. I can't say enough great things about him. And I do go once a year. And when I first started, they wanted to make sure, since I didn't have any warning signs, that they would do a stress test. And we're to the point now that I've been so much and things are, very calm right now, and we hope they stay that way, that I only do one about every 3 or 4 years. But I take him my latest marathon medal from every race, so, and he'll wear it around, show the nurses and everything. So I have a great time with him. He's a great guy, and like I say, him and God are a couple of the reasons that I am here to this day. So. And every day I feel like I'm truly blessed to be here. So I was given another chance, and all the things I've learned from the American Heart Association, if it wasn't for stents, that was one thing that was developed by the American Heart Association, and also CPR, because I'm also certified to give CPR, but I've had it give to me, and that was another technique developed by the American Heart Association. So I'm thankful for all the things that have come forth that I've put into use myself, and hopefully to help many other people and not have the problem that I did.